trying to figure out if I can tell this story quickly. But I am a breast cancer overcomer. I don't like the word survivor because that just is the bare minimum. But so I have had in my left breast LCIS, which is not cancer. I had to have surgery to remove the mass. Then I got an infection. I had an open wound. It wouldn't heal. Had to have another surgery. Had an open wound. It wouldn't heal. Had a third surgery. It finally healed. I was sick the whole summer. I think that was 2013. And then in 2017, I think, or yes, 2017, I get DCIS in the right breast, which is cancer, but is stage 0. And it was stage 0, and it was in situ, which means it hadn't spread. So I had to have surgery for that. And then I had a second surgery because they wanted clearer margins. Then they wanted to do radiation to try to make sure that it didn't come back. Did the radiation. It was horrible. Um, Last year, May, I was diagnosed with breast cancer again in the same place in the right breast. Still ductile carcinoma in situ, still stage 0. They removed it, and once you've had radiation, they can't radiate again. And so the recommendation was that I have a double mastectomy with reconstruction. I declined. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It seems like a lot. Um, and because I had the radiation in the right breast, they couldn't just put an implant in there. They would have to create a new breast using fat tissue from my stomach, which all sounds great, kind of like, I could get a, what do you call it, a tummy tuck kind of thing, and new perkies at the same time. But it would be like a 10-hour surgery, and it just seems awfully dangerous and a whole lot. So I declined. And then they sent me to the plastic surgeon to talk about it. The plastic surgeon was like, "Yeah, it's a long surgery, and we will want you to be in prime physical condition, and you need to lose weight." And so that led to me talking about the reason that I hadn't been able to lose weight, even though I was trying, and that I felt like something was wrong. And sent me to finally an endocrinologist. I mean, this was a whole process. It started in May of last year, and I didn't start seeing this specialist until September. But they found out that, in fact, my hormones were completely busted, y'all. Like, I wasn't even making any cortisol at all. So I had zero cortisol in my body. Then they did a whole bunch of tests, and I actually had to have a surgery, had to go to freaking Ohio State University to have a surgery to check my adrenal glands because there were tumors on my adrenal gland. And they needed to know which one was malfunctioning. Long story short, I've been diagnosed as something called primary aldosteronism, which affects a lot of things, including my blood pressure, which I have been taking medicine for blood pressure for several years, which was weird because, like, my whole life I've had really low blood pressure, including the time in which I was pregnant with Spencer at 38 years old, and my blood pressure never went above 90/60, but all of a sudden I have high blood pressure. Anyway, so that's like a lot, right? You can imagine that I freaking hate going to the doctor. I just hate it, right? Because it's always just something that, like, in my mind, I'm like, you just made that up. It can't even be real. So I go to, I was in Miami for Juneteenth, and then upon return, I had to go and have a mammogram. Haven't had one since the 2nd. breast cancer diagnosis, and they found something in the left breast. That's the one that had the LCIS, which technically is not cancer. And I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. And because I normally know these things, like I normally feel something or whatever. At least I felt like I did. Well, this time I didn't feel anything. Turns out it looks like a cyst, but they can't be sure that it's a cyst, especially given my history or whatever. So today I had to go and have a needle aspiration. But the thought process was, well, I was going to have a needle biopsy this morning. But the doctor decided to try an aspiration first, and wouldn't you know, it actually worked. I literally watched it on the screen, and I watched them aspirate the cyst, and it collapsed right on the screen, which means that I did not have to have a biopsy. I did not have to have a titanium clip implanted. I did not have to have another mammogram and additional imaging and another surgery. And just, I can't even tell you how grateful I am, and how much I am just thanking God for this healing and this ability to continue on in this journey without this anxiety. So anyway, that was my praise report for today, and I thought I would share all of that because I know I don't talk about um, this often, and I know that sometimes people end up in the same situation or a similar situation, and they are just horrified and paralyzed by fear. And so if it ever happens to somebody that you know or somebody that you care about or yourself, I want you to remember seeing this video and say to yourself that I know somebody that's been through that, and she still is living a whole full life and full of joy, and that God can and does heal.